Okay, so let's practice and do some exercises to find the triggering event. To not think about it, just find it, discover it. Once there was the teacher called Joe Bossett from Minneapolis, from Huge Theater, that said, discovering is easier than creating. And I totally agree, it consumes way less energy and resources. Just discover, be aware, be open. So in order to find a conflict, to find something that we need to solve, to find that triggering event, that imbalance of the plot, let's try this exercise. Let's play with the location, with the scene, with the things that happen in this unit of space and time. So you can do it alone or you can do it with your partners. The idea is for you to add different elements, objects, into a scene. So you would start like this. You have a blank space and the first person will go to the stage and put an element, an object. This is like some people call it stage painting or scene painting. So for instance, you go in and say, here there's an old painting from a woman. You can be as specific as you can, what you want. You go back and then another person enters the stage and adds more information, more graphic information, another element, another object. Next to the painting, we see a table with a glass of wine in it. The third person enters and so on until you complete the logic of the scene. It's very important for you to follow the logic. Try not to be original. You just try to identify what kind of place that is and put all the boring elements that should be there. Once we know and we see everything in this scene, one of you will add this element that calls our attention, something that is different, something that shouldn't be there. It's still connected with the logic. Of course, it doesn't have to be something that's too crazy, but it's something that normally shouldn't be there. Immediately, you will find that the story is connected to that. That's the triggering event in this visual way. So after that, you just put characters into that scene and play. Try to justify this. Usually, it looks like a CSI scene or a film noir situation or a Poirot, Agatha Christie novel. But try it, it's very fun. The second part of the same exercise is doing the same but with characters in situations. So instead of entering the stage to put elements, to put objects, enter the stage and create characters. You will be like a statue. There, for instance, I will enter and say, I'm Bob and I'm playing in a slot machine. That's it. You can do like an animated GIF or something like that. Then somebody else enters. I'm Susan. I'm a 56-year-old bartender that hates her job, and so on and so on. And you complete the situation. And again, you put an element that's disruptive, that shouldn't be there, or if it's there, it needs a justification. So that's us. If something is not quite right, if something gets our attention, that's probably the triggering event. That's probably where we should investigate. That's probably one of the exits in the cave. So try it both with elements and with characters. A very simple exercise to practice this moment of when everything changes, when the normality of the characters is modified, is to practice the call of action. And you can do it very easily. Again, have two characters expanding the platform. And this might be 1, 2, 3, or as many scenes as you want. The idea is for you to describe, but nothing happens. But at a certain point, make the phone ring, or somebody knocks on the door, or somebody reveals a secret, or some of the characters says something unexpected. That's all we need. Just try it. Try the different versions of it. Try somebody from the outside, another improviser, calling you on the phone. Have somebody from the outside handing you a letter. Have somebody from the audience knocking on your door. Or have someone of the people that are playing the scene revealing a secret, revealing a goal. And see what happens then. You will have to solve something. And if you have to solve something, it's because you are already on the plot. Like I told you, once we're in a plot, the idea is that we know what we need to solve. But the trick is not to solve it. So here's when we play with the two elements of obstacles and helps. And I told you about Athena and Poseidon. Okay, you can use it and play it with real characters. So again, have two protagonists or one protagonist playing a few scenes, and at a certain point, have two characters playing Poseidon and Athena. Poseidon will be in charge always to put obstacles. So it could be a character in itself. Of course, it's not a god. It's just a character played by Poseidon that's always putting the stick in the wheel for the character not to move forward, not to get their goals. And on the other hand, have Athena, have the goddess of wisdom and arts, helping out. But again, same with characters or situations or magic or illogical things. You have fun with it. The idea is to have a competition between this Poseidon and this Athena and see what happens. Who wins? We will see the resolution. Basically, if Poseidon wins, this is a tragedy. If Athena wins, this is a comedy. And another very simple exercise is a narrative exercise in which you will establish one character with a clear goal. This is the story of Pedro, who wants to find gold, a gold mine. After that, it could be anything. Take turns on giving him situations of help and obstacles. So this is how it works. One person says the character and the goal, and then each of you will add, fortunately, and something that will help this character move forward and get closer to his goal. The other person will say, but unfortunately, and will put an obstacle. Fortunately, unfortunately, fortunately, unfortunately. Play as many scenes and helps and obstacles as you want, and I promise you it's hilarious. Different versions of this would be same idea, just establish a character with a clearer goal, and then try to go down. Unfortunately, 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 unfortunately. Once this character hits rock bottom, then a push of luck. Fortunately, 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 fortunately. And it ends great, beautiful ending. And try it the other way around. Fortunately, 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 unfortunately, unfortunately, unfortunately. Basically, you can play with as many elements as you want, but it's for you, it's up to you to decide if the characters deserve to reach their goals, and most important, if these goals are not in conflict with other characters and their goals.